Well, it's time to release Angry OS while it's still in development, but that's also part of what this distro is about. So here's the website, a few bit of information, show you the distro link, where to download the ISO, and also the source code repository. So if there is something missing or unique about your system, you can just rebuild it and have it ready, type thing. Long story short, it won't be available for about a week or so, at least updating the code, so this will be up to you from here. Anyway, let's dive into it with the Balena Etcher. The process with this is pretty much the same as any other live ISO. Just select the downloaded ISO, the drive, click flash, go. Wait for it to verify, and then pretty much reboot from there. So that's the whole process, minus downloading the ISO itself and installing Balena. Otherwise we can reboot now and start installing. One of the first things I need to do, not necessarily you, is change the display configuration or resolution. Purely because the virtual machine starts with a low one, here should not matter. I'll just go through my normal install style for now. I guess here the biggest thing as usual is just be aware of what you're doing against what's hard drive and always double check. So I've only got a single hard drive and I'll be installing the bootloader against that hard drive. But I know I'm going to erase Windows in this case and I don't have to worry about the Windows bootloader. Also, while it's installing, if you wish, you can turn off the lock and power saving features so it won't go to sleep. Basically, you can leave the screen and just watch it and know it's ready without having to wake up the machine again. And we'll speed it up again from here. At this point I could continue to use the machine without rebooting, but let's jump straight in and have a quick look at the help and then start with Steam. So as before, I'll need to change my resolution, purely because that wasn't saved against what was installing. And then we'll jump into Discovery shortly, but in the meantime I'll just quickly show you the concept that I was working on, the quick help, which basically is pretty empty at the moment, but it gives the idea of what I want as a minimal in this for people. Few categories. It's all offline, so it won't update unless I update the distro or someone else chooses to in their own. But you know, the whole idea would be to cover a few basics, especially for people that haven't, you know, dealt with it before. And that way they just know, you know, what they're dealing with is relevant to what they're using. Anyway, we'll jump into doing Steam. So pretty much just going to open the Discover app. Wait for it to load the updates just because it's running slow, so it's not going to be instant. I'll search for Steam, hit install, and then open it and go from there. Now, these device rules. Basically, I've already got the IDs for a majority of items set in the UDEV rules. So certain items should work out of the box, but if not, then I suggest you just look into that. So, now, let's use Steam as an example. Basically, Farm Sim, we're going to go in here, we're going to change the Proton version to version 7. By doing that, we know it's compatible with this build, which is stable. Anything above Proton 7.0 starts to use newer drivers. Otherwise we can install, and once that install's done, I can click that play button and play. If I had a decent video card in the machine, not the virtual machine. The only other thing you can do beyond this is obviously go into the Steam settings itself and change the default Proton version that's used for all games. So for example, when you install a game, some have their own version that are allocated, otherwise they'll fall back to what that is. So I change it to 7, and that way any game I run will run on 7, which is what I recommend anyone testing Angry OS to use. And also turn off your shader pre-cache, because Steam is buggy and you'll end up downloading the same shaders multiple times. So your downloads will be massive and ongoing, and it was a huge pain. Otherwise, I think that pretty much covers it. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, I don't normally ask, but yeah, like or subscribe, I guess. Catches.